someone who works here, it's a mixture of things. Early morning preparation, so a lot of chopping, slicing, cooking, that sort of thing.
So you do most of that?
We do all of that. Well, me and my wife, we do all of that. Yeah, so a lot of preparation, getting the place ready to serve customers, basically. After that, we're open for the public, and then it's about banter, getting to know people, giving them what they want, making sure they're happy with what they get, they like what they get. And some people, they want to understand more about foods and they'll ask questions, so it's good that we're knowledgeable and we know what our product is and where we get it from and what we do to it, and so yeah, it's a mixture of things. A lot of preparation, a lot of cleaning, a lot of service, a lot of smiles, and then a lot of cleaning. That's pretty much how the day goes.
Okay. So would you say that you and your wife are in charge of opening and closing the shop?
Yes. Yeah. We're here, one of us, or both of us to be honest, here from the moment it opens to the moment it closes. We're quite particular because we try and have a particular level of what we do, so we don't, not that we don't trust people to be able to do the same, but we don't have that kind of staff, I would at the moment. And if I ever was to, we're talking about someone who's highly trained and also would be quite expensive, obviously.
Yeah.
And in places like, well, regardless of what they're called, other places, a lot of their systems of working is very controlled. So you can't even make a mistake even if you don't know anything about food, It's an instruction manual. You open bag, you pour in, you open, you do what you do. But we don't do things like that because we cook everything, we make everything. We taste what we make. Is there enough salt? Is there enough pepper? Is there too much of this or not enough of this? And we tailor everything because fresh products have a difference. One lettuce that you buy last week can be really sweet and juicy, and the lettuce you buy this week isn't as such. So you need to balance your ingredients so that they always get a consistent product. So we do that. If I left it to staff, I think we'd be serving rubbish to customers. So we don't do that. So we're here from the moment it opens to the moment it closes.
Okay. So what are the problems you have encountered so far at Cafe Coco?
Problems? I don't know. Philosophically, the fact that in this country, unfortunately, people have a very low understanding or little knowledge with regard to food. And I find that a little frustrating sometimes. But in the operation, not really. We don't have, because we both know what we do. We both have food backgrounds. I was a chef in a large 200-seater restaurant for a very long time. And then we bought our own little place. This is our first step as it was, and then we've got obviously ambitions in the future. But where we are, we're not in central London. We're not. So I don't expect the clients to be as knowledgeable as multi-millionaires are about their food. And to be fair, we're not selling that kind of product. But anyway, most of people can afford. So we're not Heston or anything like that. I'm not even saying that I am, but. We were kind of hoping that within, a period of time that people would start to understand or like, gauge what it is we do. We've been here 2 years, and I'd say that largely hasn't happened. Either people just like it because it tastes nice or like that. In regard to coffee, for example, I'm also a trained barista. I was trained by one of only 2 world champions this country's ever had, 2009. So I know a lot about coffee. I'm a bit of a geek in that respect. My machine's well calibrated. Every day I ensure that everything is as it should be. I grind the coffee and change the coffee grinding every day. So I know a lot about coffee. And yet the amount of people I see walking past with chain coffee, which doesn't taste good, and I can guarantee that to you. But then I don't blame the customer. They don't know what good coffee is supposed to taste like. They're used to rubbish coffee, so when they drink it, they think, well, this is okay. And then even if they have my coffee, even if they recognise it's a bit better, they don't recognise at what level it's better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bit confusing, but I had this conversation yesterday with a friend about steak. He goes, Tesco steak tastes good. I said to him, I would never eat that stuff. And I said to him, only if you get used to eating really good steak, well, then you start to understand how bad the Tesco steak is. Do you get? Yeah. So if there's any problems that we have, it's my own frustrations that I was kind of hoping people were like, wow, this is really, really good. But if I'm crazy and it isn't good, I don't know.
No, because I once obviously late for class, or I woke up really late, and I remember getting coffee my first year from this place. I was like, because I went to Italy.
Oh, right.
So that's why I was like, oh my god, this is a proper good coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I realized. Well, compared to any other chain, this is a real coffee. I tell that to my friends.
That's very kind of you. We have a lot of Italian customers. We even have an Italian food critic who consistently claims that we make the best coffee in London. Now, I know that I don't. I know some great coffee shops in London. But there's millions of people in London. There's millions of coffee shops. To find 3 or 4 good ones is extremely difficult. And we have so many really good Italian customers. And my wife said to me, if the Italians like what you're doing, you must be doing something right. I said, but unfortunately, we're not in Italy, I'm in London. And 98% of my customers aren't Italians. But the Italians that I do have, they love what we do. So,
so you said earlier that obviously it's down to frustration.
Good, good.
That you would like to obviously attract more people, people who are attracted to chain coffee shops. Because we obviously are focusing on independent coffee shops at the moment. So how would you like to solve that problem? How can you attract people who normally go to Let's See Starbucks or better than
I don't really know. I think in this country, unlike in the other countries, because I got onto the continent, I was in Greece this year, and their independents are fantastic. The same in France, their independents are really, really good. They offer a quality product, customers know where they go. In this country, we've got used to a security or a safety net with the chains. It's like, oh, well, I know what I'm going to get from there. And I don't know how to break that. I think part of the reason is that a lot of independents in this country aren't good. And that's a problem. They're usually untrained people who just do it to make money and survive and live. And I think that's part of the problem. So I think what we need to do is try and get it out there that we're not like a regular cafe. And that can sound a little bit. No, I don't know, to be honest. We've been trying. And I was in Pret last week, and I saw that they have on their walls these things that say, "Oh, our avocados are natural and whatever."
Yeah.
I thought maybe we should do something similar. Put up on the walls what it is that we do, but short of telling people, I don't really know. This is where we've got stuck. To be honest, this is one thing that is a problem. That we're trying to figure out.
So obviously you and your wife are in charge of the cafe. How do you, just because obviously from what I've heard, being close to friends, they always say that it's absolutely busy during lunch hours, don't we?
We are very busy during
So how do you allocate part-time and full-time staff?
We only have staff during those hours, and it's literally while my wife is making say the coffees and whatever, I'm making the food, and then the staff are cleaning or taking stuff out. I mean, they're not even trained waiters because we don't really offer a waiters type service. It's literally, you've ordered a sandwich, we tell you to sit down, and then he will bring it to you. So that's pretty much what they do, and clean up. It's simplistic work. It's tiring work, but it's simplistic work. Because we're only a small shop. I mean, we couldn't afford to hire trained people, especially since me and my wife know what we're doing. We're the trained aspect here, so we do all the more technical, more difficult things. So basically, the staff are just here to help us out there. It's like, I've done something, take this now. I'll make something, clean this now. This is.
Okay. Do your staff, do they have any ground rules?
Yeah. They've always got to clean up as they go. They've always got to have a smile on their face, and they should always engage customers when the customers engage them. So I don't mind them talking, for example. I mean, we have a customer today, for example, Spanish. One of my staff, Salma, talking about the football, the customers, being a Real Madrid fan, starting a conversation with Sal. And that's fine, I like that. The customer then likes it, and they like the atmosphere here. They come back. So the most important thing is always to be engaging with the customers, always have a conversation, whatever it is. We have an opinion, we'll express it. We're not just here to just go, what do you want, here you go, get out. It's not like that at all. We like to think of it like, we like to think of it as a home from home. We do have customers who see it that way, thankfully. Wish I had a lot more, but we do have customers who, when they have a spare moment, or if they're not at the library reading, if they're not like even the lecturers, if they have a moment, they'll come here, they'll sit down. They don't even expect us to come out and have a quick chat with them, which we do. And I think that's part of our charm, part of our appeal. Obviously, we have customers who don't want that. We leave them alone. We don't just interrupt your day and impress ourselves upon you. We don't do that.
Is there any particular policy that you stand by?
Quality is the only one that we have. Despite the fact that over 2 years I've started to wonder whether anybody understands quality. Maybe my brother. When I opened this shop, I said to my brother, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something different from everybody. So everybody buys the cheapest thing to make lots of money. I like my food. I'm going to sell quality. Customers are going to recognize it. And the riches will follow. And that didn't really happen. So I'm starting to think he's right. Maybe I should just sell rubbish. But I can't do it because I eat here as well, and I don't want to do that. So I continue with this education program. I've got to teach people to eat better. So that's what we're doing. And I stick by that. It's who I am. The moment I do something different, then I'll stop liking what I'm doing. And if I don't like what I'm doing, then it'll suffer. Then you have to enjoy what you're doing.
It seems to me that you have a very flat structure in terms of how you're running your business. So do the staff members have a separate point of contact, or do they have any problems that they come directly to you?
No, it's directly to me. I don't run some crazy hierarchical system, and we don't do that at all. If they don't get on with us and I don't get on with them, and they can't tell me about their weekend, then to be honest, we're not interested. The most important thing with other staff is not just whether they can do the job, but they can do it in the manner and the vein and the spirit of the shop. Thankfully they can do that, or at least the people that we have can do that. If they don't fit in, they'll more than likely want to leave anyway. We're more friends, to be honest.
Who do you consider as your threats?
I don't consider anyone a threat. Even my next door neighbour, he's a kebab shop. I know that the owner of the shop before me is considered a threat, which I don't understand at all. Me, I'm constantly, we're constantly conversing with regards to our products, and I don't know how he feels about us, but my thing to him is always quality, do better, be better, because if you're good at what you do, more people would want to come. When they come out of Unison, they'd want to turn left onto our pyramid, then go right and walk up to Angel. Even if it means they don't come to me, even if it means they go to you. But one day they will want to come. At least they're coming down onto this parade, and it's great. So if I've got enemies, it's everyone at the Angel, and everyone down there at Clerkenwell Road. Actually close to me here, and I consider it like that. But anything that can bring more people to walk past my doors is a good thing. So even if my neighbour's producing the greatest kebab in the world, I don't make kebab, he makes kebab. I don't do chips, he does do chips. I do sandwiches, he doesn't do sandwiches. Anything that makes people go, I want to go this way, because I like what's going on this way, and brings more people to my door,
So, what's your vision for Cafe Coco?
The vision is that we grow, we expand, and our market is students. Because students, we find, or I found, to be a little bit more adventurous with their food. So our plan, ambition, is to not only get this place rocking, as it were, but to then get another place, not just around City University, but maybe around other cities, universities as well. Start creating. I'd like to create a chain. I could be 100 years from now. I may never have something, but the ambition is to do that, but to base it on a particular ethos of quality and adventure, and our market is students. Young but not too young, because I think that's the basis. You can, I'm never going to convince a 50-year-old to have a chicken escalope ciabatta. They're going to come in and ask for a ham sandwich. End of story. That's their way. The adventure is always going to be young, and then that becomes the new norm, and then someone else 20, 30 years later creates a new adventure in food, and we go from there again. So that's the plan. Always changing, always ever more exciting.
Have you made any changes on your price post the rising tuition fees for students?
I haven't, but it's something we've been considering.
The best way to buy
well,
it's 6 months before.
We didn't know how much of an effect this would have, the tuition fee, because I know a lot of students, borrow, so it's not coming out of their pockets today, even though unfortunately it will be a burden for them in the future. But we have seen a difference between this year and last year. So we've been thinking about trying to give more value for what our product costs by some additional extras on with it, or to find a way to make the product cheaper. Now I'm not a big fan of that because I think our margin is very, very low on the quality of the product we have. So to make it cheaper would mean compromising the quality of the product. So we don't really want to do that. So we're thinking of ways of trying to give more value for it. Whether that be, I don't know, like I said, we don't do chips, but we thought to be different again from our neighbours, maybe do curly fries or something like that, which I also prefer. I don't like chips. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of anything fried, to be honest.
So this wasn't in my question, but it was from one of my two. It was the most expression. That's all sweet scandal affected you.
I wish in one respect it had. I know it sounds crazy, but the point is that because we cook everything, we make everything here, including our roast beefs, which is a joint. It's not mincemeat that you could, get it wrong. This could be anything within it. A piece of meat is a genuine piece of meat. And I thought that people would avoid some of the big chains who get their stuff sourced from these factories and God knows where it all comes from. But I can't say I've seen it sometimes I wonder nobody cares in this country. It's a really horrible indictment, but I have a feeling that no one's really. I think the newspapers are more interested in public art.
I think so, because I was reading this morning they were doing a live debate and they were saying that a lot of butchers now are selling roast meat as a novelty. And I was like, that is so gross.
I know. I genuinely thought that we'd see a rush of people coming because, everything we do is fresh or whatever. It didn't happen, so. No.
That's all I have in terms of questions. Do you have any questions, George?
No.
Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
We hand in this portfolio on 8th of April, I think, so we can give you any recommendations from our research that if you find any solutions or problems.
By all means, please let me know. Although I do have another group from the university, the marketing something or other. Islington.
We've heard a lot about you.
All right, yeah, they're coming up with all sorts of great. I have to admit, they've given me a proposal and I think it's fantastic. I didn't even think they're going to dress people up and march around the university and talk about the product. I don't know. See, I'm not that way. I know that what I do is good. And I just want people to recognise it. I can't go out there with leaflets and say, look, buy my thing, it's really wicked, buy my thing. I can't do that.
You should do that because a lot of people, when I say, we're heading to Cafe Coco, they're like, where is that? If I say, the cafe just down there, if you go opposite of the college building, they're like, so that cafe's called Cafe Coco? They just don't know the name. They know the cafe, they don't know the name.
Right.
So that's the problem. And the other thing also, because I was talking to UV, who's project leader, I said, when I got the first induction pack from the university, it told me about all the other cafes that I could eat around, so next to Market, and things like Opera's Angel, but it doesn't mention this. And I said, why don't you talk to the university? It's so close by. I'd rather go to this cafe than go to Exeter Market. But because I was so new to this area, I had no idea about this part of Islington, and I only used to go to that side because that's where the university is a director.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Angel, you have Starbucks. If you go to Exmouth, you have this.
I didn't know they gave anything like this out. I don't ask enough questions, obviously.
So that's what I told you. But that's why a lot of students now go. I think that's just my theory.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did. I just didn't turn this way. I just went that way. That's where the university directed us.
Yeah. Oh wow, this is a new thing.
This is last year. Because they always send out induction pack mid-August, telling us about our area and everything else. So that's when we got to know about all the other markets except this one.
I've got a conspiracy theory in my head now because we've got a lot of the admins from the university. They come here. And I wonder why they haven't included this in this thing. Maybe they think that's their own little secret. They don't want all you guys here. I think that's what it is. I'm going to have a word.